the personas that I really thought about when I was kind of asked, who's the target market for this book? And one of them is the open-minded CEO. And the reason why I say the open-minded CEO is because people tend to believe that the open-minded CEO is always going to be the person who's going to be like, yes, 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 yes. And in many ways, they are super participatory. You can find them probably in any organizational initiative that exists. And because they're open-minded, they don't necessarily challenge themselves to really, I'm going to say it's self-interrogation, right? They don't challenge themselves to ask, is there any part of their fundamental belief system, whilst being open-minded, that prevents them from behaving equitably? And in the course of the work that I do, one of the, I come across very many open-minded CEOs. And when it comes to women in the workplace, especially when we're looking at this at the intersection of race and gender, so specifically Black women and women of color, the topic always comes back to one very specific one, and that is meritocracy. And there have been so many different CEOs that I've spoken to, and many of them have fallen back into but we still want to make sure, despite equitable practice, we still want to make sure that the best woman makes it, or the best person makes it into the room. And this is the reason why I wrote the chapter, around the meritocracy myth. And it's for that exact reason, is that the myth of meritocracy means that it is not straightforward to say that the best person will make it into the room without acknowledging the fact that each one of us faces completely different systemic barriers, not least when you're sitting at the junction or at the intersection of race and gender, where the systemic barriers that you face can be 10 times, 20 times more than somebody who either doesn't share your race or doesn't share your gender. And this was why the open-minded CEO was one for me. So how do you recognize the open-minded CEO? I think you may have spotted some of it. Tends to be a man, but I would say he or she is very much at the forefront of most of the diversity initiatives. He or she is very good at the publicity, but he or she may not have many direct reports who represent the groups that we are trying to uplift. So maybe you look at the rest of the C-suite. Maybe you'll look at the direct reports. The group will tend to still be homogenous, because the part around the meritocracy piece is the piece that's ultimately holding back, or rather, I'm not even going to say holding back, I'm going to flip it and saying is continuously perpetuating the same systemic challenges that Black women face within the workplace, just for the fact that nobody challenges them. They will be vulnerable. They will be open. They will have a personal story. They will have shared it. They will have done, they'll be almost the poster child for what books should you read around equitable practice. But pose a slightly challenging question. And unfortunately, it's not because they are ill-intentioned, but most of the time, when you pose a deeper question, they will revert back to concepts such as meritocracy because it feels comfortable. So someone says, why should CEOs read this book? If you believe yourself to be open-minded, give this book a chance, give Closing the Gap a chance, because it will help you articulate why meritocracy is a myth, but it will also help to create those. I keep saying, the book is about making the invisible barriers visible. And this is why if you have an open-minded CEO in your organization, give them the book. If what I describe sounds like you, get the book. If there's something that makes you think, what can I do better? How can I be more proactive? How can I take meaningful first steps? You know what to do. Get the book. So this is just really one of the personas I had in mind when I was writing this. So I'm going to come back again with a few more, but in the meantime, I hope you like the video. Please let me know. You don't necessarily have to comment, because if you do have an open-minded CEO, you don't really want to put them on blast in the comments. But, let me know what you thought of this video. Thank you for taking the time. Bye-bye.